Let me ask you a question. When people say high welfare, what do they actually mean? Most people picture cash benefits or generous pensions, but if welfare is about how easy life feels every single day, then the real test is the boring stuff that works without drama. Roads that let you cross a province in hours, trains that leave on time, taps that always pour clean water, lights that don't flicker, mobile data that doesn't drop, and fresh food that doesn't blow up your budget. In that sense, infrastructure is welfare, reliability is welfare, convenience is welfare. Think about the everyday baseline many Chinese take for granted. Dense expressways and high-speed rail stitch cities together, village roads are paved, metros link neighborhoods, 5G is effectively always on. Water pressure is steady, power outages are rare, and buying vegetables and meat for a week won't wreck a paycheck. So ordinary, you forget to say thanks. Now flip the map. In rural Britain, broadband coverage still means dead zones where you're back on patchy signal. In parts of Germany, winter heating leans on wood or pellets because bills are brutal when energy jumps. In France, installing an air conditioner can trigger building approvals, contractor queues, and a final invoice in the thousands. Electricity per kilowatt-hour hurts. So during summer heat waves, families weigh comfort against cost. Media tallied thousands of heat-related deaths in just a few scorching days across major cities. And when you ask, why not just turn on the AC? Many shrug, can't afford to run it. Nobody marches over the electric bill. They sweat because that's just the way it is. The United States offers a different tax, distance. Unless you live in a few transit-rich cores, you drive everywhere. Buses are infrequent, commuter rails don't always match job centers, and suburbs were engineered for cars, not pedestrians. Ownership isn't optional, it's how you participate in daily life. So your welfare baseline quietly includes a car payment, insurance, fuel, parking, and repairs before you earn a dollar. Food shows the gap most clearly. Watch American TV kitchens and you'll see cans, boxes, and frozen trays. Open, heat, done. Nothing wrong with convenience, but home cooking often means reheating, not chopping. People like steak, of course they do. But steak isn't daily food for most households. Take a mid-market ribeye or sirloin at the supermarket, multiply by a family of 3, add sides and drinks, and your weekend dinner can brush $100. Do that nightly, and a third of a blue-collar take-home paycheck is gone. American labor law pays time and a half for overtime, but many employers avoid it, and many workers respond by stacking a second job. 10 to 14 hours of work across 2 shifts isn't unusual, because the bills don't care. So normal looks like ground beef burgers, hot dogs, meat sauce, boxed pasta, coupons, and takeout specials. Contrast that with a Chinese kitchen. 2 quick stir-fries, 1 meat, 1 veg, plus rice and maybe a soup. Fresh greens, tofu, eggs, noodles, pork by the gin. It's varied, fast, and, key point, affordable. What feels ordinary at home can look like special occasions somewhere else. Clothing tells a similar story. In the US, most families don't chase labels, they chase durability. Big box tees and jeans at $20 or $30, a nicer shirt at $50 or $60, a winter coat when the holiday sale hits. Wardrobes are functional because budgets are tight. Meanwhile, Chinese e-commerce turns fashion into low-friction experimentation. Local brands, national guoqiao, fast cycles, and price points that make refreshing your closet painless. That's culture. But it's also a supply chain dividend that feels like welfare when you're the shopper. Housing magnifies the contrast. In the US, rent hikes, HOA fees, property taxes, long commutes, and maintenance bills stack up. Moving closer to a good public school multiplies the price, and older houses can be charming but drafty, hammering your energy bill. Europe trades space for heritage and paperwork. Stone walls, no elevator, strict renovation rules, long queues for any change. By comparison, in many Chinese cities you find elevator apartments clustered around subway stops, parcel lockers downstairs, couriers everywhere, and handyman markets thick enough that small fixes happen fast. Not perfect, no system is. But for ordinary families the friction is often lower, and low friction is a kind of welfare you feel is calm. Healthcare is the fear test. In the US, insurance is mandatory in practice and labyrinthine in design. Monthly premiums, a deductible you must burn through before coverage starts, co-pays per visit, co-insurance percentages after that, separate pharmacy rules, and out-of-network traps that spawn surprise bills. An ambulance ride can cost as much as a used car. European public systems cap the sticker shock but price you in time. Waiting lists grow, elective procedures slide, and you learn the calendar of triage. In many Chinese cities, you can visit a community clinic same day for a modest registration fee. Big hospitals are crowded, but the out-of-pocket math often hurts less. None of these models is an angel, but the less you fear stepping into a hospital, the more welfare lives in your bones. Mobility is your daily toll. American suburbs reward two-car households and punish everyone else. Gas can be cheap today and expensive tomorrow. Parking is free in the exurbs and predatory downtown. Meanwhile, many urban Chinese trips are one QR code. Tap a metro gate, scan a bus, hail a ride, grab a shared bike. Bullet trains make intercity travel plane-like in speed without plane-like hassle. When the price of showing up is lower, life feels lighter. That's welfare again. Digital payments reveal the plumbing. Yes, Tap to Pay is spreading in the West, but card fees and tip screens clutter every counter. In China, a QR wallet covers breakfast buns, utility bills, hospital registration, and bus fares. No swiping, no printing, which erases micro-friction dozens of times a day. So, what is high welfare, really? It's not a slogan or a spreadsheet. It's whether the grid survives a heat wave without bankrupting families, whether fresh food is cheap enough to be normal, whether the young can commute without a car, the old can see a doctor without dread, and a leaking pipe gets fixed without calling 6 numbers. It's whether things that should be boring are gloriously boring because the system hums in the background and lets people focus on living. Every country makes trade-offs. Every model shines somewhere and fails elsewhere. The point isn't to dunk on anyone. It's to widen the definition. When you measure welfare, don't just count checks. Count soup on the table, a bus that arrives when the app says it will, a phone that pays for breakfast in one tap, and summer nights that don't become medical emergencies. Same question as the hook. What do you call high welfare? If you live in the US, Europe, China, or somewhere else, name one everyday thing that feels like real welfare where you are, and one stubborn pain point that still makes life harder than it should be.